That really impressive number is actually hiding a much more complicated and honestly a much weaker reality for most companies out there. The market isn't just rising on its own, it's being dragged, almost kicking and screaming upwards by a very small and very, very powerful group.
So, who are these market titans? Well, they've been given a pretty cool nickname, the Magnificent Seven. And understanding who they are and what they're doing is the absolute key to solving this whole market mystery.
Yeah, you know every single one of these names. Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Nvidia, Meta, and Tesla. They're the giants, the household names that are completely at the forefront of this tech and AI boom. I mean, from the phone you're holding to the chips powering the AI revolution, these 7 companies are dominating not just the conversation, but the market itself.
So you might be asking, how is it even possible for just 7 companies to have such a huge impact? It's not magic, I promise. It all comes down to how the stock market is actually built.
And here it is. This is the secret sauce. The S&P 500 is what's called a market cap weighted index. Just think of it like a giant seesaw. The heavier a company is, and by heavy I mean the bigger its total stock value, the more power it has to move the entire index up or down. So a 1% move in a giant like Microsoft has a way, way bigger effect than a 1% move in a much smaller company.
And just look at how much weight we're talking about here. The Magnificent Seven now make up roughly 1/3 of the entire value of the S&P 500. Just let that sink in for a second. We've got 7 companies on one side of the scale and the other 493 on the other. It's an incredible imbalance.
Now this is where the performance gap just becomes jaw-dropping. Look at that first bar. Over the last couple of years, the Magnificent Seven as a group have surged an incredible 156%. And the other 493 companies? Well, they're up a respectable 25%, but that looks tiny in comparison, doesn't it? This right here is the tale of 2 markets.
And here's the real punchline. If you were to just take those 7 companies out of the equation, the rest of the market, what some people are calling the S&P 493, has barely budged this year. It's almost flat. The entire rocket ship trajectory of the market is coming from just those 7 stocks breaking away from the pack. The strength we see in the headlines, it's not a broad recovery. It's the incredible performance of just 7 stocks.
But you know, a divide this huge doesn't happen overnight.